Welcome to my review of DC Superheroes United Batman Hush. This is a review of a game that I purchased with my own money and I have no affiliation with CMON or Spin Master in any way. I picked up this game because I am a fan of the Marvel United game system and I consider myself more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan, so adding this game to my collection was kind of a no-brainer. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get on to my review of DC Superheroes United Batman Hush. And welcome to Treehane Miniatures. DC Superheroes United is a fairly light, cooperative, hand management, objective-based card game. Players take turns playing cards from their hand, ultimately trying to defeat the villain's master plan. Every few turns, the villain plays a card to further their master plan. The game continues with the players playing cards from their hand and the villain playing cards from their master plan deck until either the villain is defeated or the players fail. Each villain in this game presents a unique challenge, and these villains are at the heart of what makes this game so compelling. Batman Hush is a fairly straightforward cooperative card game with minimal rules or complications. As such, every aspect of this game feels incredibly streamlined, and the setup is no exception. You simply choose a villain and follow any special setup instructions on the villain dashboard. This goes in the center of the play area along with the 3 mission cards. 6 location cards are randomly selected and stocked with the appropriate thug and civilian tokens that are pre-printed on each location. A villain threat card is randomly placed at each location, and the villain's master plan deck is shuffled and placed next to one of these locations. Generally speaking, the villain starts at this location, but as I discovered with Poison Ivy controlled Superman, sometimes the villain starts at a specific location. Players then grab their deck of hero cards, place their hero mini on the location opposite where the villain starts, and they're ready to play. As is to be expected with a game of this weight, learning and teaching the game is incredibly fast and simple. There isn't going to be a learn to play section within this video, however I would like to briefly discuss how the game plays. The rules are well organized and I didn't run across any rules ambiguities. Everything is clearly explained in the rulebook. I did have a moment of uncertainty with the Joker and Harley Quinn master plan deck because there are different illustrated backs to the cards in this deck. I initially wasn't sure if these were supposed to be shuffled together or not. They are supposed to be shuffled together to create a single master plan deck. I had no issues teaching the game. It only takes 5 minutes or so to teach this game to new players, and the players' action choices each turn are pretty straightforward. If everyone at the table is a first-timer, it will surely take a little longer to learn, as one player will need to understand how the villain's turn functions as well. The game is played until the villain's health reaches 0, or either the heroes or villain run out of cards to play on their turn. On a player's turn, they simply choose one card from their hand and play it for its effects and special abilities. On the villain's turn, one card is played from the top of the master plan deck, and all of the effects are resolved from top to bottom. This game flows incredibly smoothly. A typical game lasts around 30 minutes. The game isn't subject to slowdowns even from AP-prone players. This is a huge plus in my book, and it's my personal opinion that this game plays best with 2 to 3 players. Players begin the game with a hand of 3 cards and draw 1 card from their deck at the beginning of each turn. Then a player chooses 1 card to play and resolves actions. The cards are played in sequential order around a play area, forming what is known as the storyline. When resolving actions, the player gets to use special abilities, if any, on their own card, and the action symbols at the bottom of their card and any action symbols found at the bottom of the previous hero card. They do not get to use the special action of the previous card in the storyline. All action symbols and special abilities may be resolved in any order that the player chooses. The villain's turn follows a similar structure. 1 card is played from the villain's master plan deck to the storyline. The villain typically plays a card once every 2 to 3 player turns. The effects on the villain's card are resolved in order from top to bottom on the card. These master plan card effects may trigger other game effects such as effects on the threat cards present on the 6 location tiles. There are 3 mission cards associated with the villain dashboard that heroes are trying to complete. These are rescuing civilians, defeating thugs, and clearing threats. Generally speaking, 2 of these missions must be completed before heroes are able to direct their energy toward the main villain. As stated earlier, if the heroes can reduce the villain's health to 0, they win. The heroes lose if either the villain or the heroes run out of cards. The heroes could also lose if the villain achieves the conditions of their villainous plot on their dashboard, if it has one. I feel, as many others do, that the villains in the United series either make or break the expansion or standalone game box. I'm happy to report that the villains in Batman Hush make this game. Superman Controlled is a damage-dealing machine, dealing a whopping 3 damage with his ban effect once under pressure. On top of that, he can only be damaged by a player carrying the Kryptonian Ring piece of equipment. A player has to sacrifice one of their actions on their turn to pass it to another player. An active player cannot do anything on their turn to take the ring from another player that is carrying it. In addition, Poison Ivy begins at the Kane Chemicals location. Certain game triggers cause her to move clockwise around the board. If she makes a full circle and returns to Kane Chemicals, the players lose. I never really felt much pressure from Poison Ivy's threat, but it's nice that it was there to give the player something else to think about. Superman Controlled, on the other hand, is terrifying. With his ability to one-shot KO a hero that's at full health, I definitely felt the angst anytime it was his turn to play a card from his master plan deck. The Joker and Harley Quinn comprise a single boss villain for the heroes to struggle against. At first glance, this reminds me a bit of Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch from Marvel United X-Men First Class. But really, Harley Quinn plays more of a support role and never deals any damage. She causes certain effects to take place based on her proximity to the Joker, and she deals out civilians and thugs based on her location. The Joker and Harley Quinn duo is more of a ticking clock type of boss battle, as gobs of master plan cards are played face down into the storyline, accelerating the end of the game. On the other hand, none of the players really felt threatened by the damage dealing capabilities of these foes. Hush is a challenging nemesis that requires heroes to complete all 3 mission cards before dealing damage to them. To make matters worse, the threat mission card is replaced by a 6-card plan deck that must be defeated 1 card at a time to successfully complete that particular mission. The last card of the plan deck is chosen at random from 2 possible cards and provides a unique challenge from the rest of the deck. I won't spoil these for you. There is a lot to accomplish in order to successfully defeat Hush, and with just 2 players, our hero decks failed us just shy of victory. Hush is easily my favorite villain from this game box or any box in the United series. Challenging? Yes, but so much fun that I continually found myself smiling as we were getting our butts kicked. If you have played any of the games in CMON's United series, you know exactly what to expect from these components. All of the paper components, such as cardboard chits, location tiles, and player cards, are of acceptable quality. Nothing disappointing, but nothing exceptional either. If you saw my unboxing video and the miniature showcase, then you already know how I feel about the miniatures. The designs are inspired. The sculpts retain the cartoony style that the series is known for, and I love that they have sculpted bases. These are very cleanly manufactured miniatures with minimal flashing or mold lines, and they look like they will be a joy to paint. As far as compatibility with Marvel United goes, I see no reason why this set cannot be combined with any of the previous boxes from CMON's United series. Initially, I was worried about power creep, where these characters may be too powerful to combine with characters from earlier sets and still maintain balance. However, this does not appear to be the case. There may be an issue if you're including the equipment cards in your game. Of course, any character from a previous set can be outfitted with generic equipment cards, but characters from Batman Hush have card effects that allow them to recharge their used equipment. Characters that were introduced into the United series before equipment cards were a thing obviously won't have this beneficial special effect. This may create a slight imbalance. The new one-time use and persistent special effect abilities that Batman Hush characters have are still balanced by having only 1 action symbol on the bottom of their cards, so I don't see this creating an issue. This is a great time to create your favorite DC and Marvel superhero team-ups. DC Superheroes United Batman Hush just may be the perfect jumping in point for new gamers to the series. There is nothing overly convoluted or tricky to learning this particular set in the series. The characters are some of DC's most iconic, and the gameplay mechanisms introduced by each villain are a joy to struggle against. For existing fans of the United game system, there is no reason not to add this to your collection. This is an outstanding standalone set with one of the most fun villains in the entire series. This is not a significant evolution nor revolutionary reimagining of the United system. You won't find any game-changing ideas like you'd see with Return of the Sinister Six, Infinity Gauntlet, or Sentinels. This is quite simply United gaming perfection in its purest form. As for my rating, I rate the United game system as a whole at a 4 out of 5. It's an excellent game that excels at what it does, which is to provide a compelling, cooperative, family-weight experience. It's a little light for my taste, but I do always enjoy my time with it, and Batman Hush doesn't alter this rating. However, for fans of the series who know exactly what they're getting into, this is the perfect United game system box. Within the game system, this is easily a 5 out of 5. It is tops. It's my favorite United game box that I own, and I can't wait to incorporate it in with the other Marvel United missions and characters in my collection. I hope you enjoyed this review of DC Superheroes United Batman Hush. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to join a growing community of holy video ending Batman!